Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max and Juan cast. Max, how you doing tonight, my brother?
I'm doing good one. How about yourself? How was your playoff football watching experience with how your team being there?
I'm used to it. I live for this shit. I'm built for this. All right. Um, Look, I got a pretty nasty cough. I don't know if it's because of the air quality. We'll probably get into that a little bit later, but um, so excuse me if you guys hear me coughing. I got cough drops. I got water. I'm trying to do my best, so excuse me if I cough in the mic once or twice.
Cap, one just smokes a pack a day.
No,
You don't want to admit it.
definitely not.
Them biggerettes.
The only packs I smoke is Max packs, Eagle packs. That's all I smoke.
Pause.
Anyway, look,
Oh shit.
make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like the video, comment down below, all that good stuff. Max, I do want to start off the pod on this note. I think it's the only way to do it. If you guys haven't heard, you guys been living under a rock. Los Angeles has been on fire, bro. And
Yeah, that's
basically,
good way to say it.
It's a big national disaster. And if you guys didn't know, me and Max both live in the Los Angeles area. Me and him both live by the two major fires, which is the Eaton fire, which is by me, and the Palisade fires, where Max lives by. So
Yeah.
greatly impacted. Luckily, obviously we're okay, and both of our houses, did not get touched. I know Max had to evacuate at one point. That's how close he was. But look, man, it sucks. It's fucking crazy, bro. It's crazy. It seems like the apocalypse out there. Like, it's wild to see. The skies are orange and black. It's just smoke everywhere, ash everywhere.
Yeah.
Um,
Every day I wake up, my car's just covered in ash.
yeah,
And big shout out to the firefighters. Big shout out to first responders. Shout out to anyone who's done anything to help with the fires. I've had many people come into my locksmith company talking about, we lost our home, and it's like, where do you even begin?
right.
Like, there's nothing I can say. I've had friends from high school live in the Palisades area gone, reduced to rubble, and it's a nice area. It's affluent, and it's just sad to see this disaster, and not even to get into the politics of it, of like response and all that. It's just
Yeah,
a tragedy,
yeah,
no matter how you want to slice it up, and
yeah.
it's truly sad. We're no strangers to fires.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But so close to so many inhabited areas is pretty new. You know what I mean? It's usually up a little more north, where there's more vegetation, but this was like in the heart of communities.
yeah.
And we're a week into it basically, and they really don't have a handle on it yet.
Yeah, I think the last time I checked, the Palisade fires was maybe 11% containment.
Yeah, 15, I think. And
Yeah,
I don't know what the Eaton one is.
yeah. The Ian one's a little bit higher. I think it's like 24, 23%. Not that much
And it's not
better.
like they're not trying. It's just a combination of like 70-mile-per-hour winds when they're trying. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
And you got idiots flying drones under the plane.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Max said, there's a lot of politics around it, but the fact of the matter is people lost homes, people lost lives, found loved ones.
Yeah.
It sucks,
Correct.
bro. It sucks. Look, prayers up for LA. Prayers up to anyone who lost anyone or lost anything due to these fires. It sucks, bro. It really does suck. I just wanted to start off the podcast like that. And I want to reiterate what Max said. Shout out to all the firefighters out there, all the first responders. Yeah, bro. It really does suck. It's hard to talk football after that, but I hope that if someone is watching this and they've been affected by it, hopefully we can take the fires and the disaster out of your head for at least 45 to 35 minutes of your day and try to forget about it just for the moment. And hopefully we can
Yeah.
have you enjoy this football talk that we have. We just had wild card weekend.
Super
Super
card
wild card weekend. Honestly, there was only really one good game, Max. A lot of storylines coming out of it, definitely. Um, I want to start off with the Commanders, though. I think it was great
Okay.
to see. Sunday Night Football, like I said, game of the week. Shout out to Jaden Daniels, bro. I think that's one of the best rookie performances I have seen in my time watching football live. It was phenomenal to watch the poise, um, the running, the throwing, just all around, bro. It just never really seemed like he was rattled.
Rookie of the year. Rookie of
Yes,
the year.
yes,
Again, we talked about with his campaign that wasn't influenced by today's game, but it was like moments. And, Bo Nix didn't have that great of a moment in his playoff debut. Had an awesome season. But Jaden Daniels, he's still alive. They're going to go play Detroit. It's going to be a crazy game for him. But overall, I was so impressed with his poise. I think poise is the best way to say it. He doesn't really get too high, doesn't get too low. So many great throws under pressure over the middle of the field. Terry McLaurin, awesome to see him finally get like some national recognition for years of just struggling with bad quarterbacks. But this guy changed the whole franchise, and they're still alive. And I feel Tampa Bay let this game get away. I think they could have kind of shut the door on it, but they just weren't able to put them away. And I don't know how you felt. I thought when they got the ball, I was like, "Oh, they're not gonna touch the ball again. Washington's gonna milk this clock, and they're gonna get 3."
yeah. Look, I think it really just came down to that fumble. It's just a tough pill to swallow. You're
Yeah,
backed up in your
rookie
own
Jaden
territory.
McDaniel. Yeah,
You just stopped them on fourth down.
yeah,
So
yeah. So I'm saying, like, they could have put the game away, and that breathed life into him, and it was just tough. It was just tough to see, and I think Baker said he's going to be pretty pissed off about that. But I mean, the Bucks had a decent year one. There's no reason to say, oh, that was unsuccessful. But I think they need to get better. Obviously,
yeah, I don't know how many prime years Mike Evans has, but I want to give a big shout out to Mike Evans for it's gonna go as like a not a big time performance. Like the numbers weren't like fantastic, but
I
if
thought he
you're
played tremendous.
yeah, dude, like if you're watching that game live, Mike Evans is just making play after play after play. It seemed like, and me and Max were talking about it last week how he's a future Hall of Famer. There's no fucking doubt, bro. Like he's a Hall
Hmm.
of Famer, and I love to see it. He fucked up Lattimore like he always does. It seems like. Um, so look, I just wanted to give a big shout out to him. And as far as the Bucks go, where do you go from here? You keep on pushing. The sad thing about it is, I don't think they're ever gonna have a chance to win the Super Bowl with what they got right now. Um, I like Todd
They, they
Bowles.
they lack some dynamic playmakers on both sides of the ball.
To me, I feel like they need to give a close look to their offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen. He's a hot commodity right now for head coaches, and really look yourself in the mirror and maybe give the boot to Todd Bowles. Like, I know Todd Bowles has been doing good. Like, he's been winning the
I agree.
division.
I agree with what you're saying. I just don't know how you sell the team on it.
Yeah, that's tough. Because I kind of feel like the Cowboys should have did this, like with Dan Quinn. Like, look how that would have turned out. Like, look at the success that Dan Quinn has had. You know, so Liam Cohen, he's just one of those hot commodities right now, and I think it'll be worth it. Go all in on Baker, go all in on the offense. You got Bucky Irving, you got McMillan. A lot of young pieces on offense.
And they didn't have Chris Godwin for a big chunk of the year, and I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, his best days might be behind him with the injury he suffered. But to me, like you always talk about with coaches, your specialty should be like what you excel at, and
right.
their defense this year was kind of in shambles. And if you look at their defense, Antoine Winfield's really good. They don't have one good corner, in my opinion, who's anyone you're like, damn, that guy's really good. They have some good
They
corners,
let
like
him
Jamel
go
Dean's good.
last year. Carlton
Yeah,
Davis.
Carlton Davis. Yeah, could have used him. Really could have used him on Terry McLaurin. And then the D line, other than Vita Vea and I mean Kaliza Cansey's cool, but you're not like, wow, he's a finished product yet, right? They have no help off the edge. They signed Shaq Barrett off the street.
Yeah.
See, like they're Deion Jones looks like Devin White, which is funny, but they need an infusion of talent, and I don't know how you're going to sell them. And I agree with you because Liam Cohen could be a head coach for a team. Like Chicago Bears could be like, hey, we want Liam Cohen. Someone to work with our young quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And on the Washington side, fuck Dan Snyder. This is one
Hmm.
the Commanders. are like the perfect case scenario. It's like they fire or somehow they make Dan Snyder have to sell the team. You get the second overall pick. You hit on your second overall pick. You get arguably the best quarterback in the draft. And you get a head coach in Dan Quinn who is working out tremendously. And you won a fucking playoff game and you beat the Eagles? Come on, bro. Like they're playing with house money. I know they're playing Detroit next week. There's a good chance that they lose. You know, I think they're like 9-point underdogs. So it's going to be a tough task. I'm not saying it's impossible, but they're playing with house money. You got to give them props where props is due. I love to see a franchise do that, bro, because I feel like there's a lot of franchises out there that would love to do what they did. And I'm speaking for the Raiders. Get a new owner, get a new coach, get a new quarterback, and win a
Yeah,
playoff
like
game.
get the stink off,
Yes.
the team, and that's what they did. That was what this year was about, and they definitely did it. And they're still playing. Hey, they could win next week. It's not out of the realm of possibility. We've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah. Speaking of crazy, let's go to the Chargers. I really want to hear your take on this because I think you're going to go a little bit easy on them. I've been going back and forth. Let's talk about the Chargers and Justin Herbert. Okay, so the Houston Texans, they win this game. Honestly, the game didn't really say that, like the score didn't really tell how the game really went. This game was
It was
easily
close.
it easily could have got out of
Yeah,
reach for the Texans within the first quarter.
I truly think the Chargers had a lot of missed opportunities in the first half to kind of get out to a lead because the Texans were in shambles on offense to start the game. I think the Chargers charged it up for the first time all year, where they just self-harmed themselves into pretty much losing this game. Justin Herbert didn't play well enough. I'm sorry. There were times where I thought he made some good enough throws to move him. Like the first half, the big Will Disley had a horrific game. He dropped a like 3rd and 20 for a first down. Then the third interception Justin Herbert threw, which I think was a pick six, not on him at all. It hit Will Disley in the hands. You don't blame the quarterback; that's on him. And then I think they got a little over aggressive right after they got the turnover, where they threw the interception right back. And I didn't like that play call. Quentin Johnston's not this big body receiver like that he appears to be, right? He's like a finesse guy.
Yes.
I didn't like that. And I think the Chargers played their worst game of football all year.
Couldn't agree more. You're absolutely right. To me, the turning point of this game was that fumble from CJ Stroud in their own territory. Winds up picking it up, and he throws an absolute dime for like 45 yards.
That was like rookie year CJ Stroud stuff. Like usually this year it's like, oh, he'll throw a pick on that
because they were dead.
Pick it up.
They were dead in the water. Besides Will,
I think they scored a touchdown that drive, right? They scored a touchdown.
Yeah, they scored a touchdown that drive with Nico Collins. Yeah. Besides, really, Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter showing that they can get pressure, the Texans had no sign of life. Like,
correct.
It looked like, oh, the Chargers are gonna come in, like the Texans are making mistakes. Like, it just did not look good. Mm-hmm. And to me, Justin Herbert, I'm not gonna go like crazy and be like, oh, he's a fucking terrible quarterback. Like,
see, that's where I don't get, and I think we should push back on that narrative because he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has the worst support around him of any other quarterbacks in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious to you, and I'm sorry for interrupting you. Where does that come from? Is it because he got a lot of money and he's never won a playoff game, even though the organization's been shit to him and they finally are on the right track?
I think.
Like, what is it?
I think there's
what is it?
I think there's some guys that give him a little bit too much praise as far as like top 3 quarter. Like some people say that like he's better than Joe Burrow, at some point. So maybe that's where it comes from. But I think he's perfectly like he's a top 10 quarterback, but I think sometimes he does have some games like this where it's just like you're pressing the issue. Like, I don't know what happened, bro. Like some of the shit that he did in that game is just so uncharacteristic, bro. Like,
so yeah, the second interception to me was the one on the play action, right? Where they got the ball. That was the interception. You're like, oh no, what are you doing? The third interception, I don't know how you feel. That's on Will Disley.
No, the third one, like, it's already out of reach.
And then the fourth one is the same shit. The fourth one's like, you're pushing the issue.
Yes.
Like, you're going to lose the game. If you throw a pick, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. To me, the first one is the worst because it's the Cardinals saying you're rolling to your right. You're throwing across your
Mhm.
body, and it
Yeah.
was just it was a dumb
Yeah,
play. It was a dumb
I
play.
agree.
But
I love Justin Herbert, and I think he is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL, and he's arguably a top 3 talented quarterback. But I think the Chargers need to help him out this offseason. It's cool you have a run game, but let's go get him some weapons. Because, like, Lad McConkey shouldn't be your best receiver. I'm sorry. He's really fun. He's really cool. But let's just be real, one. If I told you at the start of the year, hey, Lad McConkey's going to be the guy, you're going to be like, they're in trouble. They're in deep shit. And he's cool. He's a good player. But come on, this team needs some help in the passing game.
yeah,
Like, they definitely need help. And they're a year ahead of schedule. Like we talked about. The beginning of the year, you were like, it's not going to be that good. And I
yeah,
was like, it's going to be hardball. They're going to win some games because they're going to be well coached and do all the little shit right. And they did.
yeah.
So let's pump the brakes on all the hatred for the Chargers.
People love to react like right after the
Yeah.
game. It's easy. It's easy to shit on someone. It's easy to shit on Justin Herbert as much as
So we should all shit on Bo Nix as well then, if
right.
we're going
It's
to do
like
that. And Jordan Love, let's shit on him.
right, right. It the narratives are harsh. Um, look, I like Max. I'm not gonna give Justin Herbert a pass. Like he played like shit, but
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I'm giving him one either. He
yeah,
played like shit.
yeah,
He did not play up to the par for what I thought he could play. But I also realize the Chargers are a flawed team, and I think we need to, as the NFL talking about community, we need to look deeper. Like I always talk about the quarterback. A perfect example is what we just watched on TV with Sam Darnold. Even Joe Buck is right there like, oh, this guy cost himself millions of dollars. And in my head, I'm thinking, he's not an MVP candidate, guys. He's a system quarterback. He's a Brock Purdy-esque guy. And everyone got tricked into believing because he made some great off-schedule throws. And then he gets kind of exposed, and it's not really all on him, right?
yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. You can go back at this game. Did anyone on the Vikings play that great?
No.
I think this was a McVay Stafford masterclass.
Yeah. Look, we might as well transition to the Vikings. And
Yeah, no,
I say
it
this.
just connects.
I've been saying this for the last year and a half, Max. Like people just really do need to look at it with context. People love to crown people. People love to hate on people right away. What was I saying about Sam Darnold when we had that conversation? I think Joey's the one that brought it up to you, right? And you popped the question
Yeah,
like, is it time to pay Sam Darnold? And at the end of the day, I was like, fuck, man, like you can't. You can't do it. You got to look at yourself in the mirror. And this is probably the biggest blessing in disguise that the Vikings could have had. Because anyone looking at it with context and with a different lens, don't just look at the stats. Don't just look at the big plays. Let's look at it with totality, bro. Like, how's the defense playing? Okay, who's coaching him? Okay, who's he throwing to? And you take all of that into account, it's like, yeah, he's been making some plays, yes, but he's in a really good fucking situation, bro. And tonight, it kind of all came crumbling down. And it's unfortunate, it is, but I really do think that it's gonna benefit the Vikings, bro. And like I've been
I do
saying,
too.
like I've been saying, like I think JJ McCarthy can be just as good as Sam Darnold was this year.
I
I
think so too.
truly believe
I,
that.
and we have to talk about this. If you give Sam Darnold all the money, right, you're going to hamper yourself. The most valuable thing in the league is a rookie contract, and not just off this performance, but if you can get like 80% of Sam Darnold at his JJ McCarthy, you're going to win 10 games, and you're going to be able to go get a lot more players. And I think the Vikings' weaknesses showed up today. Not just the quarterback. That O-line
Yeah,
got destroyed
9 sacks.
from the first snap. We were watching the game together on Xbox the first half, or the first quarter. And I go, takeaways one, and you were like, the Rams are on fire. No, poor choice of words,
Yeah.
but you were like, they look shell shocked. The Vikings were shell shocked
Yeah.
from, I don't know if it was last week or just the ferocity. Byron Young, Braden Fisk, Colby Turner, Jared Verse
Yeah.
kicked their ass. 9 sacks. They're not all on the offensive line, right? There was plenty where Sam Darnold just wouldn't get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
But he was skittish. He was seeing ghost out there. He felt the pressure from the moment the game happened. And I think the Rams defense won this game. And then McVay and Stafford masterclass on offense. They knew all Flores' little tricks. And they're like, no problem. We got one of the best quarterbacks ever. and I chose my words carefully. You have one of the best throwers of the football in the NFL history who never got the credit he's ever deserved.
Yeah.
And that's why they beat a 14-3 team.
Yeah, man. I think this is like the second time that we said like this was a McVay masterclass like on design. Um he
And the DC, I forgot his name. Tremendous job.
Yeah.
They were on Minnesota's. To be honest, though, when your D line plays like that, I don't think it matters what you do on the back end a little. Like they were kicking ass like crazy.
Yeah, when you can get pressure like that, bro, I mean, you can beat the undefeated Patriots.
Mhm.
That's the way I see it, you know.
And Minnesota needs to look at a weakness of their team was their offensive line.
Yeah.
It is. I know they're hurt. Darrisaw's hurt and they got
Yeah,
banged
yeah.
up, but that performance from the O line was horrific. He really stood no chance. Like I understand he can still make plays. He played bad too, but the offensive line and Sam Darnold were awful.
Yeah. And I think you'll be crazy to pay Sam Darnold top dollar money. You bring him back,
Yeah.
you definitely bring him back. Um, you know,
What if he's like, "Hey, give me 2 for 30?" You're like, "Oh yeah, we can do that for sure, no problem."
yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah. That's not that bad. But you have him compete. You don't guarantee him the job. You compete, the
Mm.
rookie has a chance, and may the best man win.
If some other team is like, "Hey, you know what? If New Orleans is like, I don't want to draft a rookie. Let's just go pay Sam Darnold 3 for 90. See ya. Great. Thanks for the year.
Yeah.
No problem.
Right.
Let him walk."
Yeah. We'll see
And
what
you
his
invested
market
a
is.
first round pick in JJ McCarthy.
Yeah. We'll see what his market is. It's going to be interesting, but the Vikings were really fool's gold, man. I felt like they really did miss out on one opportunity. I felt like that could have really changed the game. Was that forward pass by Stafford where they returned it for a touchdown, but it got reversed.
Talk
Um,
about it. What do you think? I go with this one. It is absolutely a forward pass, but it is grounding. He's not. There's no way he can throw that ball to a receiver. That's grounding to me.
yeah.
Like I know it meets all the criteria for not grounding,
Mhm.
but you and me both know he's throwing that ball right there to get out of the sack. There's no ability to catch the football.
And he knew it. And he knew it right away.
Yeah,
Look, CJ Stroud had like a similar play on that weird drive that they scored 98 yard drive. But before that crazy 40-yard play, he had like an intentional grounding that wasn't called. So it's like
yeah,
situations like that where it's like, what the fuck is an intentional grounding these days? Like
correct.
like I don't even know sometimes. Like I'm like, oh, like
Because we both agree no fumble, right? Stafford no fumble,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But was it grounding? Like was he throwing the ball into
yes,
the ground and saying, "Oh, he's right there"?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
They need to revamp that. I don't know what they're gonna do, but Vikings get pummeled. The Rams move on. A little bit of this had a little feeling of lift LA up. They had a lot of fucking energy. A
Yeah.
lot.
Oh,
Like you can
dude,
just
I hope
it was jumping out.
I'm not looking forward to it as an Eagle fan. Like, yo, if they play like that, I'm like, oh god.
Well, let's talk about the Eagles, man. You're good on the Eagles. I mean,
Yeah,
on the Vikings. Okay,
yeah,
let's go to the
yeah,
Packs and the Eagles. This game had a bad feeling, bro. I'm showing the kickoff right now. That's how it started.
yeah.
Um,
Most games that start like that, you think blowout, right?
yeah, and
Okay,
they
so
scored
so let's talk
immediately.
about this. Is that a clear recovery by Kayshawn Nixon?
That should have been. I thought he recovered it. I
I
think
thought he did too.
after all that
I mean,
bullshit,
but once again, in my head, no Eagle bias. I'm like, once they caught it on the field, though, they can't undo it. You know
right?
what I mean?
Yeah. But really, the game fell over kind of after that because the Eagles, man. I know a lot of people want to shit on them, including their fucking whole stadium, booing them and shit. But like, this is who they are. They're kind of like they remind me of like I don't know what snake does it, but like just squeezes you until you slowly fucking die. Like that's the
Yeah,
capability that they have. And I just felt like that's the way the game was going. It was just like, no, we're just gonna play our defense. You're gonna have to move the ball, and once you dump it down low, you're gonna get fucking hit the shit out of, and we're gonna injure multiple guys. And the offense was just like, hey. We
No
don't have to do
bounties.
much.
No, just physical. Just physical.
Yes.
I think the Eagles had the physical edge. I knew this going into it. We weren't going to run the ball that effectively. I knew Green Bay was not going to get punked. Did you think that going into it as well?
No, I felt like Green Bay was going to be the team to, impose their will. Like, hey, you guys are the
That's what
big
I'm
bad
saying, though. I'm saying,
Eagles.
would you have bet Saquon was going to have a big game before the game?
No, no, no.
Okay, so yeah. Now the only thing that I'm worried about is our passing offense was putrid, and I've watched the film and I've watched route combos. And it's like everyone knows our stuff because Kellen Moore isn't that creative. But this wasn't a horrible performance by any stretch. Like we pretty much had the game hand in hand from start to finish. Now, as bad as Green Bay played, you would have think the Eagles could be up more than 10, right? Like that's what's crazy, right? It wasn't over.
Yeah.
Like I know it felt that way, but it was 10-0 at halftime, and they played a horrible half of football.
Jalen Hurts
Green
kind of
Bay.
just does that. I feel like the Eagles just do that in general, really. Like, you feel like they can be scoring more points, but it's just like, hey, we'll just take 7 minutes off the clock here. Fuck it.
Yeah.
You know?
The defense was amazing for the Eagles.
It was.
I don't think the Packers played that bad on defense either.
Honestly, bro, the Packers were just injured. I hate to say it, but they were.
Yeah.
They were losing guys left and right.
Jaden Reed, their left, Elgin Jenkins.
I think Elgin Jenkins one was
the big one.
Horrific. Yeah. Like their backup guard came in. I think his name was like Glaze or something. Oh my God. He had horrible performance. They literally benched him for a guy who's never played a snap. They're like, get out there. We can't deal with you right now. It was penalty after penalty after penalty. It was crazy, bro. But Christian Watson down and all their other receivers.
Reed,
and it showed up. There was a 4th down that they had.
Any other receiver catches that ball.
Right. It was just like, bro, we're depending on the 5th fucking stringer here. Tough year. I kind of wish I kind of wish they ran the ball a little bit more, bro. I felt like they got a little bit too pass happy in the beginning.
I think they kind of got away from it because we kind of came out with an edge, like you said. But then Josh Jacobs was like, hold on, hold my beer. I can you text me after the game, you're like, I miss Josh Jacobs.
I do so fucking much. He ran so hard. He was amazing. I felt like he was the best guy on the field at times. Like,
yeah, I thought he played better than Saquon. I mean, Saquon didn't have a lot of running room to go. Like, it was a struggle on offense. And look, I'm really happy we're going to be matched up against the Rams because I think our offensive line can kind of I don't know if they play like that again. We're in deep shit, but I like our chances against the Rams going into it.
We'll see.
Green Bay, just tough year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Look, everyone wants to, with the Jalen Hurts stuff, like people love to get the negative narratives out there. Like I've been hearing some stuff about Jalen Hurts, like, oh, is he the guy? Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
it's crazy. We can only go 14-3 like 2 years in a row, and Nick Sirianni, he's got to be the hottest seat for best win percentage ever in history of the NFL. Right? It's 14-3 twice, and like 10-8, 10-7, or 11-6.
Yeah.
And it's like, this guy is an idiot. I don't get it. I understand he can be a little annoying and he can be frustrating, but they act like who's a horrible Dennis Allen. Yeah. I don't know. Who's a bad coach?
Mike McCarthy.
Right? Like, it doesn't make sense. Do you agree?
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense at all.
Like, there's a lot worse coaches in the NFL. Check out Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
One of these days, everybody. Hugh Jackson.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackson had more job security at 0-16 than he does at 14-3.
And I think I want to say this. One thing that really stood out this weekend, and I caught it from 3 teams. We've been seeing it with the Eagles. Once you get 2nd and 3, 3rd and 3, it's a wrap. You're not stopping them. You can't stop those 3 teams. Whether it's a Lamar read option, Derrick Henry up the middle, Josh Allen tush push, Jalen Hurts tush push. It's fucking unstoppable. And it's crazy to watch. But like with the Eagles, it's like, as a defense, that has to be so fucking deflating. Because you're basically playing like with 7-yard first downs. Like, we can't give up 7 yards or else it's over. It's a first down. They fucking ran a fake pass play on their tush push because they knew, like, we're going to miss it. Fuck it. But we're going to get the yard anyway on 4th down.
Yeah.
That's how confident they are. It's insane, bro. Those 3 teams, especially the Eagles, it's fucking crazy and it's unstoppable. It's crazy to watch. What'd you think of AJ Brown with the book? Funny?
Who cares? Funny. Everyone's saying how toxic he is for doing it. Like, there's this one guy I follow on Twitter. I don't know if I follow him. He's always on my feed. And he's like the most toxic human being ever. I don't know what his name is. I gotta look it up, but it's like, he's like, this guy's a quarterback. And it's like, okay. Or it said Jalen Hurts threw his first touchdown under center in his whole career. Oh my God, how is this guy a quarterback? It's like, okay. Yeah, you're right.
Eagle fans are wild. Eagle fans are wild. My girlfriend sent me a video. I don't know if you've seen it, but this girl was like being called like the C word and stuff. We're monetized, so I don't want to say it. But like, she, because
rhymes with Hunt.
Yeah. But we want to go to Philly next year. You know, I want to, hoping Max can come with us. But like, that's how Eagle fans are, bro. Eagle fans are fucking nuts, bro. They're fucking crazy, bro.
Is your girl gonna be upset if I'm the Eagle fan that's just like, you fucking no?
She'll probably beat your ass, bro. She won't have no problem. But
shit, I'll be like, Ashley, defend me.
For real. Fucking 2 girls fighting and shit. All right. Speaking of the Ravens, let's go to Lamar in Baltimore. They beat the shit out of the Steelers.
I saw this coming. I don't know how you felt. Yeah.
Wasn't close.
First of all, there's one thing to talk about from the Steelers' perspective. Mike Tomlin should be your head coach. He should be your head coach. Right? I think they said he's 0-7 in their last playoff games won, right?
Yeah.
If you give them Arthur Smith as the head coach, how many times do they even get to the playoffs in those 7 years?
None.
Twice?
Yeah, maybe once.
Once? Yeah, exactly. I think, again, like we talked about with the Steelers, they need help. This is a roster that's, other than George Pickens, who do you look at, Juan? You're like, oh, that guy. Oof.
It's tough. It really is, because it's hard to defend Tomlin so much because this is 6 straight years now that like the stretch, the bad stretch. It's not even the playoff game. Like, it's just a bad stretch at the end of the season. It just looks bad. They just slowly die out. And
don't fire him.
Yeah.
If anything, trade him. Teams would line up. The Raiders would line up, Juan, to get Mike Tomlin.
And that's how I feel with Kyle Shanahan. Like, when Niner fans say, like, we should fire Shanahan. Like, bro, who are you going to hire? Who are the Steelers going to hire that's better than Tomlin? Tell me. Who are they going to hire?
Correct.
Nobody's out there that's available.
Because as soon as you have don't make the playoffs, everyone's like, oh, this never happened under Tomlin.
Right. Yeah. And look, man, Tomlin gets the best out of that roster. You got to look at it, again, with context. Like, he's working with Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. He played 2 quarterbacks this year. He had 1 playmaker. He had 2 running backs who he's switching back and forth to whoever has the hot hand. And it's really just the defense. And I think the defense just gets broken down because they have to do so fucking much to win these games. So, no, don't fire Tomlin. It was a shit performance. I'll give you that.
Correct.
It was the first time in a while where
But come on, man. When Baltimore was, you knew, right? Like, it was like,
I knew that they were gonna beat their ass, but it's like, fuck. Like, sometimes like Steelers had no effort out there. It was pitiful, bro. It was bad. It was tough to watch.
It seemed like Baltimore had an edge.
Yes.
Like, and Steelers were just like, oh shit. Like, what do we do?
Yeah. Look, they ran for 299 yards.
Sheesh.
I mean, look, we got the showdown next week, Buffalo and Baltimore. I can't wait. I've never been more excited for a game. I feel like this has the potential to be the best game of the year. Look,
I wish we had like a huge fan base that would just cut like whenever you said, I think it's the best game. This is the most I've ever been excited for a game.
It really is, though.
I'll shut the fuck up. You say that every year.
No, this one's different, though. This one feels different.
When the Raiders went to the playoffs,
Well,
you were
that's
like, I don't
Raiders.
even know.
That's the Raiders, though.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
Raiders. It's non-Raiders. Okay. I'm excited of
Okay.
anything with the Raiders. You know this. But from a non-Raiders perspective, this is a huge game. And Baltimore looks fucking good, bro. 299 yards, like I said. Derrick Henry, a man amongst boys. Lamar, like I love the fact that they were running Lamar a lot. I felt like the Steelers were kind of caught off guard with that. They're like, oh shit, like they're gonna run Lamar Jackson like 15 plus times. What the fuck?
Yeah.
We didn't sign up for this.
In my head, I was like, this is a little too much. You'll win without this shit. Save it for Buffalo.
Yeah.
I have this to say, and this will transition to Buffalo. If I'm a Buffalo fan, I'm not excited about having to play Baltimore and the way Baltimore looked. And I really feel like maybe we should just wait to vote for the MVP. Like maybe we should use the playoffs once in a while.
It's a done deal. I think they gave it to Lamar.
That's bullshit. I disagree wholeheartedly. But that's a topic for another day. We will talk about it. We can make a video on it. We have a YouTube channel. We can do whatever we want. What do you want to talk about Buffalo and Denver?
That I was scared as shit. Was this
the least exciting game?
I was scared as shit in that first
for the
drive.
First drive.
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
I know. I was like, "God, that looked kind of easy."
Yeah,
hey, that's that script.
Yeah,
that's
that was insane. Anyone who had money, I would have been shitting bricks after that play. I was just shocked. I was just like, "Is Denver gonna really win this game?" And honestly, there were besides that. It fell off after that missed field goal before halftime because they could have went in tied 10-10.
Yeah.
And after that, it was just like the Josh Allen show. He just fucking took over.
I thought the receivers for Denver were determined to let Bo Nix down throughout the game.
Yeah. Yeah. It was tough. And
it was tough.
I love to see Patrick Surtain just get fucking disrespected by every like fourth string receiver from the Bills, including Matt Collins, who stepped over him like if he was AI. And I'm just like, bruh, what the fuck?
Matt Collins, you're a gunner on special teams, brother.
They were going at his ass.
Matt Collins is an interesting fellow. That's for sure to say. One thing I want to ask you, was that a catch? Do you think that's a catch, that one in the back of the end zone by the running back? I thought he was out. I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand anymore.
His foot was up, I guess. It didn't touch. It didn't touch.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Look, Josh Allen as well. Like the same thing with Baltimore, how they came out and they're like, we're going to run Josh Allen 15 times, and there's nothing that you can do about it. It's going to be an interesting game. I'm leaning towards Baltimore. Just because the defense.
I want the Bills. I want the Bills to win. I just don't think they have the dogs in the fight.
Yeah.
I don't think they have the dogs in the fight. I think if you look at Baltimore's offense, if they get Zay Flowers back, which would be huge, I think Derrick Henry and Lamar are just too much for Josh Allen and who's the next guy?
James Cook, I guess.
And I love James Cook. You know how much I love James Cook. Right. He's not Derrick Henry. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then on defense, who on Buffalo's defense am I like, ooh, that guy's a difference maker?
I don't know how people are gonna feel about it, but I think it's gonna be a more impressing performance if the Bills win than Lamar and the Ravens.
I agree. I think if they win, Josh Allen is gonna play out of his fucking mind.
I feel like
he's gonna have to.
He wins this game. I feel like they win the Super Bowl. That's how I feel.
Maybe they go to the Super Bowl for sure.
Yeah. I don't feel like that with the Ravens. If they win this game, that they can still beat Kansas City. I think this game means more for Buffalo. Like, okay, we defeated Lamar. Come bring us fucking Patrick Mahomes. We're fucking ready. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, correct. Oh. Yeah, and I don't think Baltimore's like, oh, we beat Josh Allen, because it's like Baltimore's a machine. Baltimore has been one of the best rosters and teams the last 3 years. And that's not really been the case with Buffalo. Buffalo's been a great team, but we've always looked at them like, like we saw it in the video, they're a gun half loaded. They're a gun. They don't have all the bullets. They show up with a pistol, and Patrick Mahomes has an AK. And that's how it always seems to go.
Yeah.
But overall, not the funnest week of football, not the most close games, but it was always fun. Playoff football is always entertaining.
Yeah, it's always fun.
You can see the intensity, how different it is.
Yes.
Like, football's pretty intense. This shit was like, oh no, 100. By the way, referees, no penalties. There's no PI anymore. You can do whatever you like, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. And I totally agree with you. Let them play, but at what point, Juan?
Yeah.
I would love to meet a ref and be like, hey, I just want to ask you, when does pulling the jersey not become PI? The playoffs, I guess, right? That's
Yeah.
the answer. I don't know.
The refs are gonna ref, bro. I can't wait to see them against Kansas City. They're gonna be in full effect. So look, let's talk about some of the coaching hires so far. We got one. We got Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel.
Is that done deal?
That's a
Is that
done deal.
done deal?
Yeah, he already had his press conference.
No offense. I agree to fire Gerard Mayo for Mike Vrabel.
Yeah,
I agree.
in hindsight, like they knew something. They knew like, oh, we're gonna get him. And
especially if you want Vrabel to come back.
Yeah, you do it. And it does sound like that was the case because I don't know if you heard like Gerard Mayo's like wife and like she spoke up. She was like, yeah, we got done dirty. Like we took the high road and like he did. He got done dirty. But they did it for good. They wanted Mike Vrabel. I think if Mike Vrabel wasn't gonna go there, Gerard Mayo was gonna still be the coach. That's what happened. It's kind of like with the Raiders a couple of years ago with Jack Del Rio. It's like he didn't really deserve to get fired, but it's like we can get John Gruden. And Mark Davis was like, we want John that much.
Yeah.
We don't care.
You guys might hire him back.
Yeah. Chucky might be back. So look, Mike Vrabel to the Patriots, A++. I think the Patriots are going to be back. He has a quarterback for the very first time. I don't think he's ever had a quarterback as talented as Drake May. They got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of cap space. They obviously got the top 3 pick or top 5 pick, whatever it is. So they're going to get, they're going to get another blue chipper if they draft correctly. I would be a little scared if I'm Miami, if I'm Buffalo. He's going to bring a tough nose mentality to New England. That's what I know for sure. They're going to be tough and they're going to be well coached.
Well coached.
That's a fact. Everything else, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be a good offense. I don't know if they're necessarily going to be a good defense. I just know they're going to be tough.
And we got to talk about the Titans letting him go was one of the most shocking moves I think we've seen in a long time.
So dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Now let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys, who have some news.
Coach Prime,
that's one thing. Mike McCarthy.
Real quick, I talked to Joe yesterday and Dak, and I was like, hey, pretty sure Mike's gone. They're like, no. Joey goes, they didn't let him interview. They want to keep him. I'm like, no, I think they're just assholes. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
We'll make them wait an extra day. But I mean, so let's see. Is this 365 days too late? This firing?
It's 365 days late. And it's like fucking like
it's a leap year. It was a leap year this year. Yeah.
It's like 5 days late. Why didn't you do this 5 days ago?
Why did you do this shit like a week and a half ago, right after the season?
Yes, like why? Why did you not? Because as far as what I'm knowing and what I've been reading up on, they missed an opportunity to interview Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. Those guys are not taking interviews until after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So other teams got a leg up. Other teams got to interview with those guys. So
we already know this coaching position has its pros and cons. Obviously, Jerry Jones wants you to be a puppet, media scrutiny. And that brings me to my point with Deion. I think he's been a good coach in college. I'm not the biggest college fan, but I understand he's brought a certain level of media to Colorado. I don't know. You follow a little bit more than I do. What is the obsession with him? Is it because he's loud and brash, kind of? And I don't even think he's that loud and brash. Is it because he's black? I genuinely don't know. What is with all the media that's always been so attached to him as a coach? Like when he went to, I know he had the whole thing with Jackson State. Like I won't leave. Or where did he coach? Jackson State. No.
Yeah.
Jackson State. I know they had the whole thing about him. He said he wouldn't leave, and he went to Colorado. But like, come on. Every fucking coach says that who wants to go to the bigger team, right?
Yeah.
Any coach, white, black, green, yellow, brown, whatever. What is up with him? Why does he have a media circus around him?
Well, he does it his way. That's one. It's unconventional. I think that's number one. Number two, he hasn't really came up as your typical coach. He got really from high school to college right away. He got a head coaching job. That's not how it works. From head coach,
But to be honest, it's not like he's Jeff Saturday. I mean, even Jeff Saturday, if like you would hired him at like a I don't know what are they Division II school. It's like he played in the NFL for 15 years. He knows ball. He's not an idiot.
mhm.
Obviously, it doesn't mean he's going to be a good coach. But they act like they hired some random dude off the street sometimes. Like he didn't know what he was doing. Like one of the greatest players ever.
Yeah, to a certain extent, that's the way some people think, though. And
Correct.
I think the unconventional way, and I don't think there's any doubt that he has pull. He has pull with certain guys. I think he can relate to certain guys. Um,
Of course.
yeah. That's
He
and
had the number one player in the country go to a Division II school.
yeah, and to follow
When?
him,
When does that
to
happen?
follow
Yeah,
him
correct.
again to Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I don't think he wants to go to the NFL. I think it was like
I
I think it was like a shot out of the cannon, like, hey, maybe I can go coach, Shador, depending on where he goes. Maybe there's an open spot. Maybe that was a plan with the Raiders. But I don't think it's anything of real, bro. I don't know where these reports are coming from. I don't see him.
It could be from some idiot on Twitter, then it just gains traction. I saw Stephen A. Smith read a meme account today on or I saw it on Instagram that he read a meme account. Like if someone fooled him with a meme about Zion.
Yeah.
These things can gain traction. They can be completely fake. They could be real. And he seems to be feeling the fire.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want to say I think he couldn't do the job. I just think it would be the biggest media circus in the NFL on since Tebow to the Jets.
Yeah. It would be huge. If I'm the Cowboys, I wouldn't do it. If I'm any team,
I wouldn't
I
do it
wouldn't
either.
do it. Just talking straight up, like I
There's
wouldn't touch
better
it.
candidates out there than Dion. No disrespect, Dion.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And the Cowboys, man, we'll see who they hire. Who would you hire if you're the Cowboys? Who
Would
you?
have loved Rabel, obviously.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to Ben. No offense. I don't think they need a Ben Johnson. I mean, he seems like a great guy, offensive guru. I wouldn't want to go there. I would prefer to see Aaron Glenn there than Ben Johnson, in my opinion. I think they let him go. Dan Quinn would have been great. I wouldn't mind seeing a Todd Bowles there if he got fired. And the reason why is like you need someone tough to do that job. You can't have no little fucking guy who players don't respect like Mike McCarthy. Only stating that because we know it's a fact in the NFL. There's players who don't respect him. How did he end his time in Green Bay? But I don't think there's a great candidate out there for their needs, to be honest.
yeah. I think it's gonna be tough, bro. I don't really see anyone as well. If it was me,
I would have loved a Belichick if he was in the running.
I
I would have
would
loved him to go
go
there.
I would go with Ben Johnson, and this is just my personal opinion because you have all that money invested into CD, you got all that money invested into Dak.
Back.
You might as
Yeah.
well go all in. Like he might not be the best guy for the job, but I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do. I think wishful thinking, I don't think this will ever happen, but I think the best case scenario, trade for Tomlin. Go all in for Tomlin. I think
But that's
Tomlin,
what I'm saying, right? When you think of the coach they need, it's not necessarily a guru on either side of the ball. It's like a leader of men
yeah,
for them.
yeah. You need a guy on both sides, bro. Change, like you said, Vrabel. That was the best candidate right there. We'll see where everyone else ends up. The Raiders, supposedly, Tom Brady is very heavily involved. What do you think about that? About Brady being so involved? I didn't think he was going to be that involved, but apparently he is. Like he has a big opinion on it, big pull.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I mean, it'll be interesting to see who you pick. I've been watching a lot of John Gruden lately, his YouTube channel, and this shit he's been doing Barstool Sports. I really like John Gruden. I just feel bad. He got done so dirty by the NFL.
Yeah, it's tough. We'll see what happens though. There'll be more head coach hirings by the time we get back on this. I think that's gonna do it though. All right. Super wild card weekend in the books.
Always sick.
All right. I just had a coughing attack. I'm all right. Max, I think you're gonna have to send us out, bro. Any last words?
Guys, we appreciate you tuning in. Again, anyone in the LA area, first responder, victim of the fire, someone who lost their home. Our thoughts and prayers are with you guys. Everyone stay safe. Thank you for the support of the channel. Don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe. We're going to be probably back this week. Last week, our whole schedule kind of got derailed by evacuation warnings and shit out of our control. We're going to try to be here again this week, a little later in the week. I'm Max with MJC Sports, Max and Woncast. We are out. Peace.
Everything ain't what it seems. Glittering gold.